Hello, first grade artists. Today we're going to be making a cityscape, which is an artwork that shows the city. If we're going to be working on sketchbook, but if you'd rather work with pencil and paper, you may do that. So first thing we're going to do is open up the sketchbook app. If you need to create a new sketch, you'll need to do that first. I'm resizing mine just a little bit so it makes it smaller and I can see all the edges. First, I'm going to start with the shape tool, and I'm going to select the rectangle or square shape. I'm going to pick a color I'd like for my first set of buildings. So I'm going to be dragging these rectangles all across my page. I want them to be pretty tall. This is going to be my farthest away building. So they're going to be the tallest and the farthest back. So I want to make sure that they go really close to the top of my page, so I have room for the smaller buildings. It's okay if I have a little bit that doesn't reach the bottom, because we're going to cover that up later. Next, we're going to use the paint bucket tool. So I'm going to get the paint bucket tool. You may want your tolerance to be pulled down closest to that word tolerance with a T. I have the same color selected, and then I'm just going to click, click, click all of those little spaces so that I fill in the whole row of purple buildings. So now I have a skyline, where instead of a horizon line, it's like where the buildings meet the sky. So next I'm going to choose add layer. So I want a whole new layer. So on that top right, I push the plus button and I start with the rectangle shape again. This time I'm going to change the color because if I have purple, I can't see purple on top of purple. So I'm choosing this magenta color. Again, I'm going to drag and drop lots of rectangles. This time they're a little bit smaller and lower down towards the page so they appear closer to us. So this will be my next row of buildings. Oops, I don't like that one. It's floating too high in the air, so I push the back button. So now I have my next row of buildings. I'm going to select my paint bucket tool and bingo, bango, bongo, fill those puppies in. So now I have my second row of buildings. I'm going to add one more layer because I think I want a third row of buildings. So now I have my farthest back purple buildings, my middle pink buildings, and I'm going to choose my third color. So again, I don't want to use magenta because it's going to be too hard to see which buildings are which. So I'm choosing a new color, having kind of a tricky time settling on a color that I like, exploring around. I'm going to settle on this macaroni and cheese color, yellow-orange kind of color. So I'm going to make my lowest set of buildings. Again, these are kind of my smallest rectangles. I don't want them to cover my magenta buildings all the way. So after I get those, I select my bucket tool. I'm going to fill, 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 fill. And I've got a little tiny magenta peeking through there, so I'm going to zoom it in, take my two fingers and pull it up, and so that I can fill it. So now I can zoom it back out, and I can see my closest row of buildings. So you can tell which one is closest, middle, and far by how they appear on the page. Closest will be low, middle in the middle, and farthest will be highest up. So I'm going to fill in my night sky because I kind of want it to be sort of a nighttime picture. And I don't like the color white, so I'm going to get my paint bucket. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to move this all the way down to the back. I put this big gray right on top of all my beautiful buildings. So I'm going to drag it all the way down so I get the gray on the bottom. And now I'm going to add some other cool details like a moon and some stars. So I'm going to select a moon color, maybe like a really pale yellow, and I'm going to make it a full moon. So I'm going to select the circle shape tool, and I'm going to drag a circle shape into here. And I'm not seeing it. Oh, you know what? I forgot to add a layer, so I need to add a new layer. There it is on the right. I'm going to pull it up to the top because it's going to be small. I want it to be on the top. So let's try this again. Grabbing my circle tool, I'm going to draw a circle with my paint bucket. I'm going to fill it in. And then I'm going to make stars. I'm just going to select this paintbrush tool and dab, dab, dab some stars in the sky. So I've got my paintbrush tool. You could use a fountain pen or a pencil. And I'm going to choose maybe like a lighter color, and I'm going to start dab, 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 dab. Have fun with it. Make it however you like, because you're the boss, applesauce. You get to choose what it looks like. So I'm going to add some stars in my sky here. Fill, fill, fill. After I fill in as many stars as I think there should be in my sky, or you don't have to. Yours could be at daytime with clouds. You choose. Maybe there's a plane in the sky. Whatever you'd like to add. Lastly, I can use some time to add extra details onto these buildings. Maybe I want to write or draw what these buildings are. Is it McDonald's? Is it a bank? Is it an apartment? Or maybe I'm just going to add some windows. So I'm drawing some black lines. I'm going to add some windows. So we're going to show what happens when we're all done. I'm going to click on one of these layers. When I click on it, I will merge them all together so it makes them all one smushy picture. Don't forget to save your image and upload it later. Thanks, artist. Have a good day.